Sorry. I see that it's just, I'm the first one, I can see that. It's very good to have you all here. And I believe that you all have a little bit of knowledge of what is Lime and more to come. So I'm going to be basically 15 minutes with you, and I would love very much that you tell me how is this new micromobility space fitting or willing to fit into your life. So let's start about what Lime is in Paris. Getting too much in the mornings, when you have to come to work, when you have to listen to the radio saying, oops, floods, oops, snow, but it's April. Climate change, maybe, matters to you. Congestion, maybe, when you look at in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of the house. That's where, a year ago, because Lime exists only since July 2017, but it started with bikes. And we started with what you call today free-floating scooters, electric scooters. It only started this journey in 2018. And today, a few months later, we are in 5 continents. And we're serving in Europe more than 10 countries. And 25 markets. So the story goes with like these 2 venture capitalists. Now, like you, fed up in the morning of commuting, of pollution, and of not having solutions. And instead of thinking, all right, where I'm going to put my money, they thought this is the right time. Why? Because innovation allows tech, allows urban planning, and allow people like you to say, I want different solutions. And it was the perfect storm. If not, it would not have gone as fast as it is. Today, Lime is the fastest and most downloaded app in terms of micromobility worldwide, a few months later. Now, what is interesting is as well, the idea that what you're getting with Lime, it looks like a simple scooter. The currency we're trading is time. Do you know that in Budapest, on average, you spend a year, a week of your life in the car, doing nothing but getting upset? Do you know that most times, when you have an electric scooter around, the last mile, that's what actually saves you the most time? And in general, we have learned in the past few months, it looks like it's been there forever, but only in the past few months, 50% of people trade off an electric scooter ride instead of getting their own car. Because life in the city is changing. As you know now, 75% of the population of the average country in the European Union lives in a city. In 2025, it will be 80%. We are all here, we love it. The city becomes like the big, like paradise, but in reality, we are quite crowded. And there are 1.2 billion cars, and 22% of the emissions of CO2 are because of cars. And you hear, just as a matter of fact, from the latest survey in terms of traffic in Budapest, since 2013, you have bought 75,000 new cars that you have brought into the town. And reality is, nobody really knows how things are going to be sorted in terms of how to cope with all of that. Now, another thing that's very interesting, do you know that today, worldwide, there are over 3 billion commuters? Do you know that if you talk in business, and that's why it's interesting as well, because in this conference we are not just about finding tech solutions for the environment, we're thinking about how technology and innovation is bringing wealth and jobs. Basically, if you only were to take 5% of the billion commuters, you will be looking at over 1 billion people that you will be serving with electric scooters. So the business case is clear. Innovation was there at the right time. The currency that was time was what people wanted, and it makes economic sense. So that's why today we are in these cities. We started back in July 2018, can you believe it? And the reality is today, in places like Warsaw, we opened 4 months ago. We've already done 500,000 rides. I believe in Vienna we have done 300,000 rides, and in Prague 250,000 rides in a few months. And guess what? It was the winter. Imagine in your lovely cities when it's nice and lovely. However, I'm coming here because the idea of Lime, I've told you the basics, was not just to create like a scooter that is tinier than a bike, takes less place, and is more efficient than a car. The core of the whole idea of what we're talking about is, how do we go into the place where 75% of the population lives, the city, and we reimagine it? And why is reimagining the urban life a core mission and vision of Lime? Is because ultimately, that's what it will make sense for all of us, business-wise and relevance-wise. So, 3 things I'm going to mention here. How do you reimagine the city in terms of your vision of multimodality? You cannot see one thing without the other. Lime would not exist if there is no metro. By the way, fantastic systems that you have in Budapest in terms of multimodality. Second thing, how do you do it with the authorities? How do you reimagine relationships? And ultimately, why I think that we are all here, because it's all about people. The relationships that you have in a city, instead of going to the underworld of the metro or getting trapped in the car, it's all about people and people experiences. So, as I mentioned to you, imagine if you have today 30% of, on average, of the people that take a Lime is because they are taking it in combination with another public transport. And as I said here, already in Prague, you can tell that the realities of the transportation system are there. And in Budapest, I've just been experiencing a little bit of your public transport. It looks to me that it's fantastically well laid out in comparative terms with something like an electric scooter. Then LimeisBudapest. Why I'm saying that? Because we believe that we are not tech. We are a company who uses technology to advance. We believe that we are not a company coming from a country. We are the cities. So Lime is Paris, Lime is Budapest, Lime is many other places. And because as well, here when thinking and talking, we spend our life reimagining the city with the town halls and with the different governments and the people that matter, like yourselves. So, I think that, yeah, what it is happening here, and you may have heard of that, is that for a while, we've been looking with the decision makers, what will be the best time to offer this time currency in terms of being able to put our electric scooters out there. And the opportunity is looming because the town hall is thinking about developing this fantastic idea that cities for people, and we may be looking at launching a pilot project with the town hall within the framework of cities for people, which is very exciting, and we think that it would be as well very exciting for you to be able to ride one of our scooters in the upcoming months to come. Now finally, and not to be less convinced of why we're doing this, as I told you, we're reimagining the city with multimodality, we're reimagining the city in terms of our relationships with the authorities and the rest, because as well they tell us it's a service that doesn't cost any money, because we're paying for it. It's a service that for the city is allowing them to move from cars into other alternative means. Is a service that as well is allowing the parking lots to be clearer and the flow of circulation to move better. But ultimately, this is about people. And what it is clear, since the founding members and since the realities that we're having, is that the hope of reimagining the city is with the people. You cannot believe it. When I go around in different cities, like this intergenerational approach about going back into riding and owning your own space and your own freedom is just exhilarating. So I would say, I would love that coming back next year, you would be like me, experiencing this fantastic new way to discover the city. Because I really think there is hope. And reimagining the city is really like something that we're going to be doing all in the urban tribe. And I'm going to put you like a little video that took place in Paris again, because in Paris we've been there for a while. And if it works.
Alors je m'appelle Manon, je suis artiste à Paris et là j'ai customisé du coup des casques pour Lime à la peinture. Pour moi, vivre dans une grande ville, en fait, c'est vraiment la liberté, c'est avoir accès à toute la vie culturelle, avoir le choix. J'évite de prendre le métro parce qu'au final, c'est comme ça qu'on connaît mieux une ville. Il y a plein de fois où dans Paris, je découvre des quartiers et j'ai l'impression d'être partie autre part. Contrairement à l'image de l'artiste maudit, j'ai besoin d'être plutôt en forme et heureuse, d'être dans un bon climat pour produire, pour être optimiste sur ce que je veux faire.
If in 2 years we manage to make out of this a success, why not to make it even bigger? Thanks so much for your time.